The 3 things you should never say about yourself. Buddhist wisdom for a fulfilling life. Have you ever noticed how a single thought, once spoken, can take root in your mind and shape the way you see yourself? We often underestimate the power of words. A passing comment, a quiet whisper to oneself, these seemingly insignificant expressions build the foundation of our self-image. Whether we realize it or not, the language we use to describe ourselves becomes the lens through which we perceive the world. Imagine walking through a garden. The seeds you plant determine what will grow. If you nurture self-doubt, weeds of insecurity will spread. If you cultivate self-belief, strong roots of confidence will take hold. The same principle applies to your mind. Your words, both spoken and unspoken, are the seeds of your reality. In Buddhist philosophy, the concept of samskara refers to the deep mental impressions left by our repeated thoughts and behaviors. Every time you tell yourself, "I am not enough," that belief carves itself deeper into your consciousness. It influences your decisions, your relationships, and even your ability to take risks. Doubt becomes your default setting, limiting what you believe is possible. But what if you challenged that belief? What if you chose different words? Words that uplift instead of tear down. The truth is, you are not defined by your fears, nor are you confined by the stories you once told yourself. The words you use matter, and there are 3 phrases in particular that you must never say about yourself. 3 illusions that keep you stuck in suffering. We will break down these self-imposed limitations, uncover their origins, and replace them with the wisdom of transformation. Perhaps you've told yourself one of these phrases before. Perhaps you've whispered them so often that they feel like unshakable truths. But they are not. They are only shadows cast by the mind. And like all illusions, they can be dispelled with awareness. So let's begin with the first and most insidious phrase, "I am not enough." Are you ready to free yourself from these limiting beliefs? To let go of the words that keep you small and embrace the wisdom that allows you to grow? Then let us begin. 1. I am not enough. The trap of self-doubt. The master led the seeker to an ancient tree, its roots deep and strong. He placed his hand on the bark and asked, "Tell me, does this tree ever question whether it is worthy of sunlight? Does it doubt whether it deserves the nourishment of the earth?" The seeker shook his head. "No, master, it simply grows." The master nodded. And yet humans, the most conscious beings of all, constantly whisper to themselves, "I am not enough." To say, "I am not enough," is to plant a seed of self-doubt. When spoken in public, that seed is watered with the validation of others, making it grow even stronger. This is the foundation of suffering, the very illusion that separates us from our true nature. A warrior once sought to learn the way of the sword. When he approached a great master, he said, "Master, I am too weak, too slow. I am not enough to become a true warrior." The master handed him a sword and simply said, "Then fight as you are." For years, the warrior trained, but always with the belief that he was lacking. Because of this, his sword was hesitant, his movements uncertain. One day, a young boy watched him and said, "You fight well." The warrior shook his head. "No, I am not enough." And so the boy believed him. The master sighed. "You have imprisoned yourself with your own words. If you say you are not enough, you will never be. If you let others hear it, they will believe it too." In Buddhism, the concept of samskara teaches us that our repeated thoughts and words form deep impressions in the mind, shaping our karma. These deep-rooted impressions determine how we act, how we perceive ourselves, and ultimately, what we become. If you tell yourself you are not enough, you will live out that belief in every action. If you say it aloud, the world will reflect that belief back to you. But there is a greater truth, one often forgotten in the storm of self-doubt. Within you is the same divine potential that flows through all of existence. The river does not question whether it will reach the ocean. It simply moves forward. The sun does not hesitate before rising. It simply shines. You too are already whole. You simply need to realize it. The Buddha once said, "With our thoughts we make the world. If your thoughts are clouded with doubt, the world will seem heavy and unkind. But if you replace 'I am not enough' with 'I am exactly as I should be,' your perception of life will transform. You will move forward with a quiet confidence, unshaken by external voices, rooted in the certainty that you belong. Let go of this thought. Release it like a leaf into the wind. You are as the river. You do not need to question your ability to reach the ocean. Simply flow. 2. I have nothing to offer. The illusion of emptiness. The master then took the seeker to a quiet hall, filled with empty bowls. He picked up one and asked, "What do you see?" The seeker replied, "An empty bowl." The master turned the bowl upside down. "Is it still empty?" "Yes." The master smiled and filled the bowl with tea. "Now it is full." Too often people say, "I have nothing to offer," but this is the same as looking at an empty bowl and forgetting that it can be filled. A man once sat under a tree, convinced he was worthless. A wise monk passed by and handed him a small stone. "Take this to the market and see its value," the monk said. At the market, a fruit vendor saw the stone and said, "I will give you 10 coins for it." The man refused and went to a jeweler, who offered 100 coins. Still, he did not sell it. Finally, he took the stone to the king's palace, where the royal jeweler gasped, "This is a rare gem. I will give you 10,000 coins." The man ran back to the monk and exclaimed, "How is this possible?" The monk smiled. The stone did not change. Only the eyes that looked upon it did. Do not judge your worth with the wrong eyes. Even in stillness, you offer peace. Even in silence, you offer presence. You are not an empty bowl. You simply have yet to recognize your ability to be filled. Do not mistake quietness for absence, or stillness for insignificance. In Zen, a single breath holds the entire universe, and a moment of true presence is a gift beyond value. Think of the great mountains. They do not move, yet they shape the very sky. Think of the candle in a darkened room. It does not need to shout, yet its light transforms everything around it. You are like the candle, the mountain, the river. Your existence itself carries worth. When you believe you have nothing to offer, it is only because you have been looking at yourself through the wrong eyes. Consider this: a single act of kindness, a compassionate word, a moment of listening. All of these are offerings beyond measure. The world is not only changed by grand gestures, it is shaped by the quiet presence of those who bring peace into the spaces they enter. If ever you doubt your value, remember the empty bowl. It is not meaningless, it is waiting. And just as the bowl is filled, so too can your heart be filled with wisdom, love, and purpose. You are not empty, you are simply open. And that, my friend, is the beginning of true potential. 3. I will never change. The curse of stagnation. The master led the seeker to a flowing stream and pointed at a rock sitting in the water. This rock has been here for centuries, unchanged. But the water moves, shaping the land. Which do you think truly lives? The seeker answered without hesitation, "The water." The master smiled. Then why do people say, "I will never change"? To believe you cannot change is to turn yourself into the rock, resisting the natural flow of life. If a tree refused to change, it would never bear fruit. If the seasons refused to change, there would be no harvest. Change is life itself. A man once sat at the edge of a river, mourning his past. "I have made mistakes. I can never change," he sighed. An old fisherman overheard him and said, "Come, step into the river." The man did so, and the fisherman asked, "Is this the same river from a moment ago?" The man hesitated. "No, the water has moved." The fisherman nodded. "Then why do you think you cannot change? Change is the essence of existence. Nothing remains static, not the rivers, not the mountains, not the stars in the sky. You too are part of this grand unfolding. Your body renews itself with every breath. Your thoughts evolve with every experience. The past does not define you unless you cling to it. In Buddhism, the principle of Anicca teaches us that impermanence is the true nature of reality. You are not a fixed entity. You are a river, ever flowing, ever changing. Embracing change is embracing freedom. Let go of the illusion of permanence, and you will find that growth is always within reach. The moment you say, "I can change," you have already begun. Final thoughts. The path to liberation. Words are not just sounds, they are the architects of reality. They shape how we see ourselves, how we move through the world, and ultimately what we become. Every word you speak about yourself carries weight, like ripples expanding across the surface of a still pond. Some words empower, lifting you toward your highest potential. Others act as shackles, binding you to self-imposed limitations. If you declare weakness, you will move through life with hesitation, seeing obstacles instead of opportunities. If you say you have nothing to offer, you will overlook the value of your presence, forgetting that even silence carries wisdom. If you insist you cannot change, you will resist the very flow of life itself, refusing to embrace the endless possibilities of growth. But the moment you shift your words, everything changes. To speak of possibility is to open doors where there were once only walls. To recognize your worth is to uncover treasures long buried beneath doubt. To embrace change is to step into the vast flowing river of existence, allowing it to carry you forward with grace. Yet, true wisdom is not in words alone, it is in embodiment. A tree does not proclaim its strength, it simply stands tall, its roots deep, its branches stretching toward the sky. A river does not announce its movement, it simply flows, carving its path with patience and persistence. You too are not defined by what you say, but by what you live. The Buddha once said, "With our thoughts we make the world." But thoughts, when spoken aloud, become reality. The words you tell yourself are the seeds of your future, shaping the landscape of your mind. Plant doubt, and you will grow fear. Plant self-worth, and you will cultivate confidence. Plant change, and you will harvest transformation. But do not stop at words alone. Walk as though you are enough. Offer your presence as though it has meaning. Move forward as though change is your nature, because it is. Every breath you take is proof of renewal. Every sunrise is a reminder that life does not stand still. Every moment is an opportunity to begin again. The past does not define you, nor do the mistakes you have made. You are not bound by the things you once believed. Like the river, you are in motion, reshaping the world around you with every step. So speak wisely, but more importantly, live boldly. Let go of the words that keep you small. Embrace the truth that you are enough, that you have something to offer, that you are capable of change. And then, live as though you believe it.